Okay, so I hope you've had a go at that question and have got an answer. Okay, let's go through it. Okay, so we're going to use the direct proportion method. Okay, we're going to use the direct proportion method. And we know from the question that 8 scones equates to 25 grams of sugar. We know that because that's what it says there, and that's there. Okay, that's given in the question. And we want to work out how much sugar we need to make 12 scones. Okay, so 12 scones equates to an unknown amount of sugar. We're going to call the unknown amount of sugar x, so x grams. Now, we know that these two quantities are proportional to one another. So these two pairs of quantities are proportional to one another. So 8 scones goes to 12 scones. So we need to work out what we need to multiply 8 by to get 12. We can work this out. We know that we need to multiply a number which is bigger than 1 because 12 is bigger than 8. So we can work it out. 12 divided by 8. Okay, so 12 is where we end up, and 8 is where we started. Okay, so 12 over 8 this can be simplified, can't it? Because it's a fraction, the highest common factor is 4. So divide top and bottom by 4, and that gives us 3 over 2. So it's the same, if we multiply 8 by 3 over 2, you'll get 12. Okay, now because these pairs of quantities are proportional to one another, we want to do the same thing to the other side as well. Okay, so to get x, we need to multiply 25 by 3 on 2. Okay, so x is 25 times 3 on 2, which equals 37.5 grams. Okay, I hope you got that answer. Okay, if you didn't, go back, check your working. If you did, well done. Another way of doing this, and this is the new way for today, is we can also solve this problem using algebra. Okay, so we can bring algebra into the mix and solve this problem by forming an algebraic equation. Now, to do that, we need to think about what we know about ratios. And think about the ratios which we have here for number of scones and the amount of sugar. Okay, so when we have 8 scones, we have 25 grams of sugar. So the ratio for scones to sugar is this ratio here, 8 to 25. Similarly, if we have 12 scones, okay, we have an unknown. So the ratio is 12 to x. Can you see how this matches up with what we have over here? So this is number of scones to sugar, that ratio, and this is number of scones to sugar. Again, here we don't know this amount. Okay, so this is just x. Now, because we know that these two pairs of quantities are directly proportional to one another, we know that if these numbers are scaled up and down, okay, yes, their values will change, but the ratio of these numbers relative to one another will always be the same. So this ratio is the same as this ratio. Okay, these two ratios are in fact equal. So knowing this, we can write an equation with our ratios. Okay, 8:25, that's our first ratio for 8 scones, is equal to 12 to x. Okay, this is the ratio for when we have 12 scones. Now think back to what we were doing yesterday, and if you remember, we were able to form proportionality fractions by turning over our ratios. Okay, so if we think about our ratios as being fractions turned on this side, yesterday we were able to turn our fractions on their side to form ratios and turn ratios on their side to form fractions. We can do exactly the same thing here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to tilt our ratios on their side and rotate them to form proportionality fractions. So in fact what we're going to do is we're going to go this way. Okay, turn our ratios in this direction, okay, to form fractions. So in this case we get 25 over 8 equals x over 12. Okay, can we see we've tilted it so that we get the 25 on the top and the 8 on the bottom? Okay, can you see that ratio there? And this one here, we've got x on the top and the 12 on the bottom. Okay, you can see that's this ratio here. Now what we have here is a fractional equation. Okay, now we've looked at these before, and we should very readily be able to solve this equation, solve for x being our unknown amount of sugar. So on this side, on the right hand side, we have x over 12. Okay, so we want to get x on its own. We have x over 12, or if you think about it, x divided by 12. So if we want to get x on its own, we need to multiply both sides by 12. So 12 times 25 over 8 equals x. So if we do the sums on the left-hand side of the equation, we'll get x on its own. So if we crunch the maths on this side, 12 times 25 over 8 equals x. 12 times 25 over 8 equals 37.5. So if we spin it around, x equals 37.5 grams. Okay, that's how we solve that one. And if you notice, it's exactly the same answer. It's just another way of doing this problem.